My name is Marga Karniste, and I am representing Estonian Business Angels Network. And today, together with our great partners, we are welcoming you to reach Incubator's final Demo Day event. So those who are not familiar with REACH, then this is an European-wide second-generation incubator for the data-fueled startups and the SMEs that aim to facilitate the development of the trusted and secured solutions based on the industrial and the personal data. And a bit more about REACH. So basically, this was an innovation action project which was funded by the European Commission and was launched 2 years ago, so in September 2020. So as I mentioned, this is the second generation big data incubator, and which is building on the successful efforts on the European data incubator. A bit more about, so basically REACH will support more than 100 business ideas from SMEs and will select among of 30 solid business cases through a total of 3 open calls in 3 years by distributing a total amount of 3.5 million. So basically, the REACH incubator provides up to 120,000 euros for each startup. So, as I mentioned, we are doing this together with our partners. So, in the incubator, we have 10 consortium members. All the logos have brought up here, and going to the next slide, then you can see that we have the 4 phases basically in the incubator. So there is the evaluation, then it's the explore, experiment, and evolve and expose. So, and today we are having the final demo day event, meaning that the startup who will win or who will get the award today will get 20,000 from REACH Incubator. As I mentioned, today we have here 5 startups, I didn't actually mention, but now I will do it. So today we have here 5 startups. This is the creme de la creme because we have had almost 200 applicants, and those are the top 5 who have came to the finals. So today they will give us a presentation about their pitch, and then the juries will give their evaluation, and then we can see who will be the winner. And now, let's get to the fun part. So, the first startup's energy intelligence solution helps energy experts, consultants, and facility managers to uncover abnormalities and energy-saving opportunities in their building using data analytics. So, Builtrix, are you ready?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, stage is yours, please.
So, hi everyone. My name is Javad, the CEO and co-founder of Builtrix. And today I'm presenting the result of project with the 2 data provider, Cascais Ambiente in Portugal and CERS. And this is discover how much appliances consume energy without installing any hardware. Let's start with a story because most of us like a story, right? But this is a real story. João is an energy manager for Cascais Ambiente. And Cascais Ambiente is a municipality in the west side of Lisbon in Portugal. And he managed several buildings. So they have around 200 buildings in the municipalities, and each building has a central smart meters. Although they have access to the data of monitoring, but they don't know when, where, and how the energy is consumed in the buildings. What devices are contributed to the energy peaks, and how they can reduce the energy peak in the buildings. So one solution could be to install more sensor, like sub-metering solution to understand the consumption of the devices, and they can make better decision. In this case, it requires around 1,000 sensors in more than 200 buildings, which cost them around 500,000 capex, and this is around 6 months project, which is a very capex intensive and very time consuming. So what we have proposed to them is a virtual disaggregation solution. And through this solution, they can understand energy consumption of appliances without installing any extra hardware. The central meter that they have is enough to understand appliances. But you might ask, what is this virtual disaggregation? It's that weird name, no? But let's make an example. Imagine if you have a piece of cake, you're eating a piece of cake, and you don't like the taste of the cake, right? but you don't know what's going wrong in the cake, and you don't have any tools to understand. And imagine if you have an application. You can take a picture from the cake, and it tells you how much sugar it has, how much chocolate it has, how much flour it has, so you understand the ingredient without destroying the cake. We do exactly the same with the energy data. You have one central smart meters, you have aggregated data, and from these meters we can tell you how much is air conditioning using, how much is the fridge is using, how much is the light is using. So you don't need to install more sensors, and you get insight on the appliance level from the aggregated data. So in this case, the Qashqai, in their building, they don't need to install 1,000 sensors, 500,000 capex, and 6 months project. So we save money and time for them. Currently, our solution, our energy intelligence platform, which is we provide other services, is tested and implemented in more than 2,000 buildings across Portugal, Italy, and Switzerland. Every month, our platform identifies more than 200 abnormality in the buildings, is 10 times faster in terms of historical data analysis, and we have integrated more than 150 data sources in our platform. So far, by December 2020, we have more than 2,000 buildings in our platform, and the last 4 months was phenomenal for Builtrix. We even haven't started the 2023, but we have closed 350,000 euro worth of the project, more than 350 buildings in Portugal, and then we are working with city of Toulon in France. So this is only the contract that we have closed so far for the next year, and we are going to aim for around 1 million investment at the end of May 2023. We have a very experienced team in data, energy, and sustainability. I myself has more than 6 years of experience in business development. I had another startup in the cybersecurity, water, energy consumption, which we have grown this company and sold in 2020. So we believe we have the right team and tools to help companies to be more energy efficient. Thank you very much, and looking forward to your questions.
Hi. So thank you for your presentation. And so in your technical presentation, you stated that you have two solutions. One was training the dataset with LSTM with a single home, and the other alternative was training with multiple homes. The first one was better, but the scalability was an issue, and the second one is the scale well, but the results were not as best. So have you taken a decision about that? Which alternative are you going to take, or something?
Okay, so this is a very technical question, and the data set that we have the Reach, we have two data sets. One data set is from the CERS, where they have a living lab, so it's a home that we use the data. We have another data set from the Qashqai Ambiente, which is a commercial building owner. So in this case, we have used both data sets, and the data set that we use from the Qashqai, which is a commercial space, they have office spaces. So we use five buildings. They have a resolution of 15, in every 15 minutes they send the data, so we have a good resolution in this case. We want to be focused more on the commercial space. Currently we are not going in residential space because we've seen the potential in the commercial space. So the challenge was to combine the data set from residential and with the commercial, but I think still we need to improve this. So accuracy of the algorithm was around 70-80%, so we need to have more data set to be more accurate in this case. I don't know if I've answered your question, but...
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I got two questions. So first one is, you're priding yourself to be a hardwareless solution. But with this being said, I'm a little stuck when you say that there is a setup fee in your business model. Can you elaborate on this a bit?
So to be hardware independent, give us the flexibility to work with different partners. The setup fee means when you wanted to understand the different data models, because some of the customer, the frequency of the data that they send. Some of them is 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They have a different data set. For example, we work with the Coop in Switzerland. They have the data from temperature, transactions. They have energy consumption, PV panels. So in first case, we need to set up these data models. So this is the setup time is usually to adapt the data model to our algorithm, and then we will charge them a SaaS business model for their businesses.
Okay. Second question would be, what would be the market barriers or the market entry barriers that you foresee in the future internationalization? Because we've seen the markets that you're tackling now, but I imagine you'll be expanding. So can you touch upon the barriers to entry in these markets that might be different than yours?
That's a really good question, and follow-up on what we have discussed also. So in this case, access to the energy data is really crucial for us because we are not installing the hardware sensors. So somebody should install the hardware sensors, and then we have access to this data. So data sharing regulation in Europe is currently, we have the regulation, but once it comes to the countries, they have their internal regulation or conservative approach to share the data. And usually sharing the data is not enough because you can share the Excel file with 1 month delay, but it doesn't bring the value. So we really need to have like API access, like real-time access to the data lakes so we can provide the value. So in this kind of mindset shift and having regulation to have a real-time access to data from the customer is one of the barrier, which we are working with the customer, and regulation is in our favors. And the second one is, I think that's more opportunity in terms of digital transformation, which is accelerated in the last years. But the main regulation, I would say, is the utility companies in terms of sharing of the data. That would be.
Thank you.
Just a probably slightly related question. Tell me a bit about your sales cycles, because it looks like you're working with municipalities, and traditionally business to government sales are slow, but you've also got timeout market and other private businesses. So which is the main market you're going after, and what are you finding the sales cycle like?
This is a very good question. And I think, so we started with this public admin to show the potential of the solution, a proof of solution, but now we are more focused on the private sectors. And the private sectors means on the service sectors, right? So we wanted to work with hotels, with offices, with banks, and these things. So we're less working on the public now and more on private because of the sales cycle is shorter. With the public, it takes between 6 to 12 months. With the private, now we have optimized it, is less than 3 months.
Good to hear. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Here. Thank you. Yes, let's give an applause for Javad. Whoops. So, just a second. As I forgot to mention our jury members as well. So, we have today 3 jury members. We have Mikkel Emaldi from Deusto, we have Alexander Sobak from F6S, and we have the last jury, who is the investment jury, Eman Carey from Data Ventures. So, and also an applause for them as well. So, and a reminder for the startups, you have 6 minutes to do the pitching part, and then you have another 4 for the Q&A, so 10 in total. But now, next startup is CyStellar, and CyStellar is an AI-based geospatial risk assessment and management platform. So, are you ready? Yeah, so stage is yours, please. Amazing. And the microphone is here.
I haven't held one of these before, so bear with me. Go on here. Okay. As we're all aware, the effects of climate change are well and truly here. And there's been an 83% increase in the number of climate-related disasters in the last 20 years. Stronger and more frequent natural catastrophes are destroying homes and businesses at record-breaking rates, and they're putting entire food, social, and economic systems at risk. Now, extreme weather has cost Europe over 500 billion euros in damages in the last 40 years. And just last year, several European countries were hit by catastrophic flooding. This led to widespread damages and hundreds of deaths. estimated insured losses are at 12 billion euros, making this the single costliest Nat Cat event globally in 2021. Now, it's clear the risks that insurers cover are becoming more severe and unpredictable, and there's been a 250% increase in insured losses over the past 30 years. Insurers just aren't ready for the changing environment. Firstly, they're using common catastrophe models to do their underwriting, and these models are based on historical data that do not accurately project the current or future risks. They're also using very traditional processes and manual processes, and combined, this leads to inaccurate underwriting and very long and expensive claim assessment cycles. I'm Harriet Smith, the Customer Success Manager here at CyStellar, and at CyStellar we have taken a unique vantage point of assessing risk, looking down at the Earth from space, literally. CyStellar's cloud-based AI analytics platform secures, manages and integrates data from over 70 different satellite sources. We combine this with data from ground sensors, air surveillance platforms, weather forecasts, and also social, economic and political information. CyStellar is creating a space where all the risk is collated, where we can detect, classify and monitor risk in near real time. The platform creates a digital twin of every single policy, so that given any location on Earth, we can pull in all the relevant risk information and create a cumulative risk assessment for that particular location. Underwriters will be able to analyse patterns of real-world activity, and they will be able to uncover signals of high or low risk before writing a policy. And in the case of claim assessors, who would often go out and validate a claim in person, they'll be able to use the Earth satellite observation imagery to remotely assess the claim and also investigate fraudulent activity. So CyStellar's platform can improve profitability through more intelligent underwriting and faster loss assessment and claim validation. Now, CyStellar's products and services is based on a software as a service business model with annual recurring revenue. We used a tiered pricing model in which the price is tied to some value or driver of usage or functionality. But we're a typical B2B business selling enterprise towards a very conservative sector like insurance, which means we experience very high customer acquisition costs and long customer acquisition cycles, or high customer acquisition cycles and long customer acquisition costs. And in order to address these issues, we're considering transitioning to an MGA business model. And we believe this to be a really effective strategy for commercializing big data analytics and selling deep technology products within a very conservative and technology-averse insurance sector. Now, we address a global insurance analytics market estimated to be worth 12 billion euros by 2023. But we focus on property and casualty and agricultural lines of insurance, which has a service available market estimated at 4 billion euros. In 5 years' time, we intend to have a share of that market worth 30 million euros. Now, using the geospatial technology, CyStellar is estimating and monitoring risk for financial services. But when we were doing this, we realized that the same data could also be used for the civil protection services. And that's why we came to risk. We wanted to test our hypothesis and validate our footing in an alternative market. And if we're successful, in 5 years, at least 20 to 25% of our revenue could come from the non-financial sector. CyStellar is a young company, but in 3 years, we've already achieved product solution fit. We've validated our approach with large customers on several proof of concept products. And in the last few months, we've seen the first stages of product market fit by converting some of our POC customers into annual recurring revenue customers. CyStellar raised 1 million in a seed round of 2021, and we're planning a Series A in Q3 of 2023. We hypothesize that the company will be cash flow positive Q2 of 2024 and profitable at the beginning of 2025. And on behalf of the whole team at CyStellar, I would like to thank everyone at Reach, and especially the mentors for their support in our journey so far. So thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. To start off, what are the geographical locations are you focusing on?
We have data sets that cover, we can do global capacity of the data sets. I think at the moment we're very customer focused in terms of we've got a major European insurance company based in Italy, so a lot of our efforts are focused there. But if a customer was asking for specific data sets over a location, then we'd access that data for them now.
Let me rephrase the question. So
Sorry.
what is your business development strategy to enter a specific market in the year 1, year 2, year 3? Because currently you're just telling me you're going for Italy, but you'll accept any client wherever they come from. But from the business strategic perspective, you're targeting a specific region and focusing your efforts towards there. So,
Well, we have access to global data sources, so I think at the moment it is customer specific because we aren't necessarily limited about where we can get the data from.
I'm more talking about accessing clients.
Accessing clients. Again, I don't know the full answer to this.
All right, we'll move on to the next question. So you said your aim is a 30 million target market, right, Tom? What is it that what do you feel like your team capacity requirement is to reach this? So from the tech perspective as well as business development perspective.
Well, from the business development perspective, we're trying to create, and I believe we do have the capacity to create a very a technology that can expand, or a platform that can be used by not just 4 or 5 customers. It could be used by hundreds of customers. So we're creating a very scalable and repeatable solution, and I think that's where our share of the market will come from.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for your presentation.
That's it.
In Reach, you have worked with the data from the firefighters from Bilbao.
Yep.
So in case you wanted to include or you wanted to apply your system in another municipality which provides you different data sources with different data model and so on, how difficult could be to integrate these data sources into your system? Is prepared to ingest different data from different sources with different model, or you will have to perform really hard work? Or
Personally, we don't find it too difficult. There are some data sources that we can connect to the platform via API. For example, like our Sentinel Hub data, and a lot of the imagery will come through with API, and also some of the Nowcast data. So when it's in real time, that's how we connect it through to the platform. But for example, in the case of Bilbao, we put their firefighting intervention data onto the platform, and we did it in a geographical way so that they could visualize it easily. And that's what they really enjoyed from us, and we could overlay the risk data onto that as well. Thanks.
So we've seen a couple of startups in this space who are very specialized, maybe in critical infrastructure or in agriculture. It looks like you've taken a slightly more general approach. What would you say is kind of the secret sauce of the business, or the thing that's under the hood that makes this business particularly special?
I think it's particularly special because we are able to customize the platform. I think that's quite a unique selling point for us. So we're kind of going for about an 80-20 ratio. So a lot of insurance companies, I'd suppose they're 80% standardized, but a lot of the insurance data sets at the moment, or the software that's provided, doesn't necessarily tick the box for every single client. So what we can do, we can have that customization with the personalized or customized hazard index, and the specific data sets they need, and the specific images or coverage that they need as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Never doing that again.
Thank you, Harriet. So next up is a startup who is doing the marketing campaigns optimization and data actionable promotions. So Dave, are you ready? Dave, yes. Yeah, we have plenty of time. So please, stage is yours, and here you have the clicker. Yes, please try.
So, thank you very much, just in time. So my name is Jonathan Amenedo, the CEO of Royward, led by Dative. So during these years, we found out the only industry in the marketing area that is just driven by Excel files that is worth 615 billion. The fact is that the market is huge and it's the only piece that it hasn't been digitalized yet. And this is a huge problem. 30% of this budget at least is completely ghost. So how much of you have received a voucher incentive marketing campaign and you didn't even spend? This is completely money that someone paid and it goes to trust. This is a business problem of 150 billion yearly basis. So this is done everywhere. All kind of sectors and companies are using this kind of incentive campaigns, like in loyalty programs, customer payments, acquisition campaigns, cross-sell, upsell, in other industries, finance, insurance, crypto, telecom, and all this kind of stuff. We have generated and we have created a digital platform that is a B2B marketplace where customers can send digitally any kind of reward, any place in the world, with just one simple click. So no more lost budget. We are able to recover this budget for them. No manual broken processes. Everything is integrated within the same API and system. Best price every day, because we are able to negotiate in volume everywhere in the world. And there is no need to negotiate operationally with every single vendor. This is a huge advantage just for that. And it's so simple. Once you are integrated, that usually takes 1 to 2 days, 4 lines of codes, and you are streaming money and rewards from Australia to Indonesia to Latin America, that as we speak, we are making a lot of people happy. This is how it looked, our process, before we entered. It was a very fragmented process with a lot of actors in the middle. Operationally, it was a nightmare. From a €1 million campaign that is a regular average campaign, the customers need to locate the vendor, start with the negotiations, go to legal, GDPR compliancy, invoicing, pay upfront the €1 million to the company in order to receive the Excel file, put that into the processes, take care of the fraud, and then hopefully the customers will receive them. Then, if the customers don't use the money or not, it's already gone. With our technology, we solve this in a very clever and smart way. Instead of needing to be paid for the full campaign of €1 million, what we do is we make a wallet where you put all the balance that you think that you are going to need in the coming months. So, as from there, you, with your API that you are integrated, you start sending the vouchers with us. What happens is that, at least, for example, 7 out of 10 customers redeem and use and are happy with their vouchers. So we go there in real time to Amazon, IKEA, or whatever provider, we purchase, we deliver to the customer, and we have a happy customer. In case that there is someone that forgot and doesn't use it, we don't go and we don't purchase. So if we don't purchase, we save 30% of that. So, or instead of spending 1 million and millions of mental hurdles, with our platform, they can do it much easier. Basically, a campaign that would cost to a company €1 million, with us, they are saving around 300K, taking into account the fees that they are paying for us. So even they pay our services what the money that save. And our business model is super simple. Our companies pays us a SaaS fee to be engaged in our platform with all the supply that we have with more than 1,000 brands around the globe. We get a commission on each transaction that we make, and the biggest part is in the revenue share. As much money we are able to help our customers to recover, the more they save, the more we make. So it's a win-win model. Within the REACH program, we made this exercise with Sonae, that is the biggest retailer in Portugal. And now within their app, every customer is receiving a personalized offer that is generated with Royward. The market is huge, but it's huge. Plenty of legacy customers that has been sending Excel files on and on again for 30 years. There are some tech competitors that they are doing it very good, but they are just focusing on gift cards. Technology is making us able to not just send gift cards, but physical products and travel as well. So we have a technical, very big competitive advantage. And why we started this project and this niche that is quite rare and unique is because in my lifetime of my previous lives, I've been spending more than 100 million euros in different sectors in promotions, and I was not realizing that this could have been solved. My business partners that come in as well from Procter & Gamble, for example, they have been solving this. And one of our main investors, he has been doing a project in a travel sector, selling vouchers for more than 100 million in the last 10 years. We have hired people from our competitors, from the tech competitors, from the legacy competitors, and we are in a very good shape in order to scale this up. We are not new. We started this project 5 years ago. Now we are doing this pivot, and we raised some money some months ago, and now we are getting ready in the Q1 or Q2 or 2013 to make an investment round. We are aiming to do 1 million euro, and we are going to split it to continue to increase the product that we have in the travel sector, because we found a very specific niche with a prospect that we have already secured for next year of 4 million pounds with top brands here in the UK, and hire people on sales for new markets, and in order to get as well hirings for partnerships to increase the relationship that we have with our providers. So why now? The market is huge. I cannot make you imagine how huge is this. Just 150,000 billion euros lost every year. Legacy competitors are lacking and are drawn in Excel files. Or 2-3 competitors that are based in UK and focused in the US are raising a lot of money. They just raised 28 million pounds in the last month. And the incentive marketing campaigns are now used more and more in order to be able to compete with increasing costs of Facebook and Google that is making the CAC of the companies increased, and you can, with incentive marketing, you spend more wisely your money within your customer base. So that's all. Let's grow together with simple, instant, scalable, efficient digital rewards. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Now time for the questions, and first will be Iman.
Yes. How's your traction so far? Maybe tell me how brands are reacting to this revenue share idea on the money you're saving them.
So as we speak, in a daily basis from a campaign of 50,000 a month, we are saving to our customers 3,000 a month, even paying our fees. So we are doing it pretty well. More or less 1,900 a day. So it's really scalable.
To follow up on this, do you know the percentage of recurring customers?
On my customers?
Yeah.
My customers not only they are being recurrent, the customers that we started to work with, they are bringing the other initiative of their business. So, for example, we started with an insurance company in a retention. Now we are in acquisition and in the big modern brand, and they are splitting them off because they realized that they had been losing millions of euros. Because I send as an average 1 million euro, but for example, the biggest insurance company in Spain, they are doing 20 million euros a year, 30% loss. It's a considerably high, big hole that they are losing.
Okay, and how often do they request your service if they have you on a monthly retainer?
How much
How often do they use this product?
In a daily basis. They are integrated with us every time that a customer makes a new insurance policy, or they make a loyalty program or whatever. They're linked to us, and we are expediting on a daily basis around 600, 700 vouchers globally.
And final question, if I may. I'm curious, is there any different onboarding process for clients coming from different sectors? For example, a retailer might be one, and then oil company.
Yeah. There are two kind of different paths. One is that it's a big corporate, that the big corporate needs to pass through GDPR law, security, ISO 27000. So we have one path that we have standardized with the ISO 27001 to the 2001, that it will take us, for example, in summer with this company, legally it took us 1 month. If it's a startup, it's much faster. They integrate the API and they go. If you don't want to integrate the API, I can create you the credentials, you send the money, you have the balance, and you can send the rewards in just 1 day.
Okay, so in the technical specification, you mentioned several clustering algorithms, but I missed any measure or any comparative analysis to know which performs better. So could you provide any information about that?
So within the Sonai project, what we did, it was a bit further away. It was to generate a personalized targeting of the promotions that every customer would need to receive in order to be able to give them the proper promotion. And then this is a feedback that Sonai didn't propose us or give us yet.
Okay, thank you.
So they integrated, we delivered them an API where they can consume all the information. They were using it, and we are in the process until still in order to get this feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. And the clicker here as well. So next up is startup who focuses on building an AI-powered recommendation system for heating, ventilation, air, and air conditioning systems. So, Sensinov, are you ready? And applause as well. So, and here is the clicker.
Hello. The building sector is doing so bad in terms of digital and environmental transformation. Buildings are responsible of 40% of the global energy consumption. They are also responsible of 33% of the global greenhouse gas emission. What makes the situation even worse is that 90% of the existing building stock will remain in use by 2050. This is why property managers spend most of their time struggling dealing with problems rather than improving the building performance or the occupant comfort. My name is Mahdi Ben Alaya. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Sensinov, and in Sensinov we choose to shake up completely the building sector. Today, we are the leader solution of smart building management system in France, and we are changing the way buildings are managed. Our value propositions is to reduce drastically the energy consumptions by 30%, save on operational costs, and ensure compliance with regulations. How we do this? So we built the Sensi box. It's a magic box that we deploy in the buildings. Inside we have a multi-protocol gateway that is capable of connecting to all the vital organs of the buildings, including the heating, the cooling, the cold system, the lighting, the energy meters, and the sensors. And this box is deployed in a few days, very easy, and every building then is connected to our cloud platforms where we have artificial and human intelligence. So we have one single interface, and we can apply energy policy at large scales in few clicks. In addition, we have our artificial intelligence algorithms to do what we call the continuous optimization of energy. Smart building is a fast-growing market with a huge opportunity to be seized, especially with the significant increase of energy costs and an extremely favorable national and European regulations. In Sensinov, we focus today in the France market, in particular in the tertiary buildings, retail store, offices, and warehouses. We are targeting 4% of the market share by 2026, which means around 50 million euros, including 8 million in recurrent revenue. Our business model is simple. In Sensinov, we believe in the outcome-based economy, so we are charging 40 cents per meter square annually, and we have 4 euros per meter square for the setup. We guarantee a very good return on investment for our customers with a payback period in less than 2 years, between 18 to 24 months. We are shifting the business model of smart building from a traditional on-premises business model based on license and maintenance to a SaaS subscription base. And in our business, we have no churn. So we deploy solutions that last for at least 10 years. We work with tier 1 retail store and offices in France, including Carrefour and Lidl. Last year, we made 33K in sales revenue. This year was amazing. We multiplied by 4, so we made 1,200,000 euros. And thanks to Reach, also, we already secured 6 million for the next year. So today we want to accelerate our growth. One particular thing about Sensinov is we are 100% bootstrapped, which means that we have a clean cap table and the company is owned by the founders. But our goal is to grow, so we want to raise a Series A of 6 million next year in Q2 2023 to boost the sales team and marketing. We want to initiate the European expansion, in particular to deploy in Spain and UK, and also to structure the support team for to defining upselling strategy and increase the average subscriptions of our customers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now it's time for the jury. So, Alex, please.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm curious of the analytical capacity of the person operating your software in the building, and whether they all are capable of using your platform seamlessly, and do they need assistance? Because the assistance wasn't in the business model.
This is very good questions, because this is a change that we are operating today. Building management system, the traditional one, has very bad reputations. They're complex and nobody wants to use them. With Sensinov, we have a very user-friendly solution that I can, with my phone, control like 100 buildings, 500 heating and ventilation system in a very seamless way. So our customers are becoming part of the optimizations because they are now finally using the solutions. The assistant is just we are sending them some smart alerts to tell them, okay, there is a deviation in the consumptions. Please, do you want to apply these corrections? And they do it. So they have a little assistance, but they are the rock stars in our business.
Cool. One more question. What is the minimum contract time that you are looking to get in with your clients?
Minimum contract in terms of money?
No, in terms of time.
Time?
Yeah.
So depending on the size of the buildings, between 1 day to 1 week, the installations.
Okay,
of the
and
solutions.
then the service contract, you set it up for 6 months, a year, 2 years, for how long?
It's yearly based, but our customer, they engage for 3, 5 to 10 years. Because there is a setup which is costly that includes the hardware and the installation in the building. And then it's a barrier. It's a barrier for competitors. So you are there for at least 10 years.
The longer you stay, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned an 18 to 24 month payback period for your clients.
Yeah.
What's the payback period for you, given that you have this installation and hardware component within the product?
So since we charge for this setup, so we charge the hardware, the installations, and we have also margin, like between 30 to 40%. Like for the installations, we are winning money. And then we have the recurrent revenue coming every year.
And last question for me is, what's the biggest obstacle? So who are the competitors that you're up against, or what's the reason that people say no when you're pitching them?
I think it's our size, because we remain small compared to Schneider, Siemens, Honeywell. Yeah, but we are beating them on many.
Okay, so considering that the data you work with is sensitive data, so could you provide some details about how your system handles the data governance and the data security?
So the data belongs to our customer. However, since now we are deploying an open system with a lot of interoperabilities, okay? So what we do, we develop one part of the high added value services, but we are also providing this data to some other players. However, always our customer validate what type and kind of data will be shared and what they will win from these new players that have access to the buildings.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, last but not least is a startup who is doing data-driven decision support tool for the rollout planning and management of EV charge points. So Alex, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
Stage
ready.
is
Thank
yours.
you so much. Thanks for having me. Hi, my name is Alex Kluhak. I'm CEO and founder of Urban Data Collective, a UK startup created early last year with the mission to accelerate the urban data economy. As part of Reach, we developed a new data-driven service called Cities in Charge. Cities in Charge allows local authorities and parking providers to make more money on public EV charge points while saving costs for regular management and reporting tasks. By 2030, many European governments have outlawed the sale of fossil fuel vehicles. A successful transition of electric vehicles or EVs, however, requires a tenfold increase of the existing public charging infrastructure. Cities and local authorities have a key role to play in its delivery, but face significant challenges to do so with limited time and resources. In previous pilots, we uncovered several pain points that hamper the utilization of existing public chargers and their reliable operation. Placing chargers in wrong area of low demand can limit infrastructure investments and leads to lower revenues from charging. A second issue are broken chargers and the time it takes to fix them. A third issue are blocked chargers, either by EV drivers overstaying or non-EV drivers parking on top of EV charging bays. A fourth issue are misconfigured energy tariffs, as local authorities may end up paying more for their energy than they're actually charging to their EV users. And finally, a challenge is really related to regular management and reporting overhead related to EV public charging infrastructure. Our pilot's experiences show that this can cause significant human effort and significant revenue loss for local authorities. Our solution is Cities in Charge, a data-driven decision support tool for local authorities to better manage rollout and operation of public EV charging infrastructure. We built upon our existing product, Urban Data Exchange, which is a real-time data integration platform to obtain harmonized access to live data from different charge point providers and other relevant data streams. Using AI and advanced analytics, we're able to forecast future utilization for future rollout, optimize the operation of existing public charging infrastructure, and simplify regular management and reporting tasks through automation. Our solution provides direct financial benefits, such as higher revenue per charge point, lower infrastructure investments, as well as cheaper enforcement and management operations. It also allows our customers to provide an increased citizen experience at public EV charge points, as well as simplifies or increases competition of suppliers on the market. Our revenues, they come from annual subscription to our platform and a one-time setup fees for the integration of local data streams. We also allow our customers and offer them an upgrade path to existing Urban Data Exchange product at a discounted rate. Our go-to-market focuses on cities and parking infrastructure provider and follows a traditional B2B sales cycle. We target the sale of annual service subscriptions for recurring revenue. And we also looking to establish channel partnerships with charge point providers and other specialist consultancies who work in the electric vehicle charge point space. Our founders, they have more than 35 years of combined experience in IoT and smart city technologies and have worked for sector-leading companies. So we've got the right team in place to bring this product to market at the scale of business. Since October, we finalized the pilots with our data provider, which is Surrey County Council, and have now converted them to a fully paying customer on an annual subscription. We've also reached out to several UK local authorities and have pilots lined up for early next year with them. We've also managed to win an accelerator recently, as well as a EU-funded grant project. We're now raising £250,000 for a runway of up to 24 months. And we will use this money to enhance our MVP that we developed, ramp up scales and partnerships, and hire more people also to support our customers better. And we've already raised 80K now from UK angel investors. And obviously, as we said, we secured an equity-free grant of €150,000. But despite this grant, we're still looking to close this round of £250,000. So we are open for investors to join in. Okay, so we're really looking forward to make Citizen Charge a global reality, and would like to thank Reach Incubator for all of the support provided. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And now time for the questions. So, Alec?
Thanks, Alex. Do you mind going back to the slide related to the data sources streaming into your platform? So on the left side, I'm curious, is your client having all of these data sources, or is it multiple stakeholders?
It's basically, a client usually would procure different charge point rollouts from different providers, and they would have different backends. This is where we integrate into, right? And also, for instance, we will take data from DVLA registrations, or from energy APIs that they have from the energy providers. So this initial setup step where we integrate these data streams together onto our Urban Data Exchange, and then we can use them in our service.
Maybe it's just me not knowing a little more about the market, but it feels like you assume that the client will have all the sources, which might be the case in the UK, but...
basically, the client has access, because they have already procured the infrastructure. They have these data systems there. We're using standards interfaces to integrate, so it's a very easy process for us to get this data from them.
And the data service model, the setup and the monthly analysis enables the client to receive intelligence on various, or how many points in the city they want to do, or is it limited to a certain when they're setting up a new parking spot, right? Do you limit with your data service subscription the amount of parking spots they can set up per year, or is it unlimited?
No, it's unlimited. So basically, typically, it usually starts off as like that. Our current client is 100 chargers, but they're rolling out 1,000 now, right? What we provide is we integrate. Usually, they are provided by 3-4 providers, right? We integrate once against their backend, and we have the data available to them and show it to them. And they use the same dashboard. It's just more charge points, but we don't charge them more for that. It's a flat fee, and they basically see which chargers are broken, which need fixing. They see basically which chargers are blocked. They see like how much they are paying for the energy, how much are they losing actually because of misconfigured tariffs, and so on.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is this a standalone spin-out from Urban Data Collective? Is this Urban Data Collective? Is it a feature within it? Maybe.
So basically, it's a data-driven service that sits on top of our core platform, Urban Data Exchange. Yeah.
And how big do you think the market is for this?
Yeah, so I think I've calculated it in my slides. So it's a $3 billion market. I mean, we will capture initially in the 750,000 in the next 2 years.
Okay, thank you.
So, from your technical presentation, I see that you rely on Amazon Web Services to deploy your infrastructure, but What if any client, for any reason, wanted to deploy your system in its own infrastructure or in another cloud infrastructure? How hard could be to migrate your system to another cloud?
That's a good question. Thank you. Yeah, so everything is like containerized in our system. So we use AWS currently, actually, to be honest, because they give us free credit. But we could easily lift it to another cloud environment if we wanted to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. So that was all from the startup side. Thank you all 5 startups who participated today. And now we are with the juries taking the final evaluations and the ratings. But meanwhile, we are gonna, introduce what Reach exactly is. So just to give an overview of what Reach is, then we are in an ecosystem involving then data providers, the startups, the investors, and the digital innovation hubs. And also, we are also having the third, or the Open Call Free, which is going on now. And soon we are going to have the webinar as well, so all interested parties can participate there. So what Reach is about then? When you as a startup would like to participate, then you can have up to 120 Cray of equity in free funding. You can also have the access to the large corporations and their data sets, also for the Reach toolbox, access to private investments, digital and business skills, visibility, and of course the big data infrastructure. So these are just some of the partners that we have who are taking care of the data, and they are offering us the data. And what we are looking for then. So basically, when you want to join Reach, then we accept different themes and challenges from different sectors. So, for example, you can be from the retail, or from the media, or from the transportation, or the finance. And there are 3 ways how to apply. So interested startups and SMEs have then the 3 ways of applying and participating in the Reach Incubator. So first is theme-driven, which means that you have the cross-sectoral defined by Digital Innovation Hub. Then you will have the ready-made, which is the track 2, meaning that you will have already a data provider from the Reach side. And then there is a third option as well, which is a free choice, and it means that you can have, or you can bring your own data provider. And now, Joel. There's the drums and everything at the moment. So soon we will find out who will win this award. And the winner is Urban Data Collective. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Please. Congratulations. And applause as well.